Yo, what's poppin', Bagel Bros, and welcome back to another Patreon rant. This one comes from Neon Manta, who says, nothing. The post didn't actually go through on Patreon. I thought he had just not been able to come up with a rant request this month, and I was really confused about it, but, I didn't get around to asking him about it for reasons that will become evident soon. And then, last minute, he was like, wait, my rant request didn't go through, I can't see it. I was like, yeah, I guess I was wondering about that, huh? So, here we are. He just gave me a tier list to do, and now we're doing it. Now, you may think, oh, well, it's a tier list. You're supposed to record yourself putting the things in the tier list. I'm not doing that. Fuck that. And the reason why is because currently my computer... okay, first of all, I record all of these on my laptop in my car because my house is almost always filled with people who I don't want to overhear me record. On top of that, it's currently uploading things to the Internet Archive because for the past 5 hours, I have been compiling. Not that long. It was probably more 3 or 4. But for the past 3 or 4 hours, I've been compiling sources for my video. I didn't even finish doing it. But I've been doing it, and I've been uploading things to the Internet Archive in order to properly source them, because it bothers me when people don't put archive links for what they source for their videos, because everything on the internet is going to die eventually. Even the Internet Archive, but at least I made an effort, right? And this is because I uploaded the video today. It's uploaded. It's on my channel. It's not public. It's unlisted. The video is up, right? It's done. It's uploaded. It's done cooking. How am I still spending all day working on it? It's 8 p.m. right now as I'm doing this, and I'm doing last minute rants. I'm supposed to be crashing out right now. How am I still working? I've been working since 11. I've been working longer than I had hours of sleep last night. How? And you want to know the worst part? Neon Manta gave me a tier list, right? Neon Manta knows the strat. He knows the meta. Tier lists... okay, I haven't actually said what the tier list is about. I am going to show a screenshot of the tier list on screen for this video, but it's a tier list. It's actually a pretty creative concept for a tier list. It is ranking every 6 out of 10 I have ever done. Ever watched. I'm running on 5 hours of sleep, and that's consecutive for 3 or 4 nights now. So if I'm incoherent, please understand. But, it's a creative idea for a tier list, and I do respect the thought put into it. However, what I don't respect is that Neon's figured out the meta. Tier lists take forever. They just inherently, you have to go through each thing on the tier list, and the more things that are on the tier list, the longer it takes to go through each of them. He's figured it out, and I think that's why he recommends me so many tier lists to do. That, and also I know he just has a thing for them. So we're gonna do a speed run for the tier list, especially because a lot of these shows I do not remember very well. So yeah, let's just get to it. And this is, by the way, everything on my AniList and Letterboxd accounts. So that's what we're going by. First of all, We Never Learn. That could be... So see, the thing about We Never Learn is that it's something I watched early on as an anime fan, and when I first watched it, it was the greatest thing ever. It was my 3rd ever anime, and I loved it. And I literally gave it a 10 out of 10 when I first watched it because I was 15. Nowadays, I'm pretty sure that I would give it a 4. It is not very good, technically speaking, but it does, I have fond memories of it, so I'm going to put it in. And by the way, the 4 tiers are strong 6 could be a 7, exactly 6, weak 6 could be a 5. Honestly, even, despite what I said, I have fond memories with it. I'm going to put it in exactly 6. Tonikaku Kawaii I watched ages ago. I made a video about it. Once again, ages ago. I don't know. It's probably still a 6. I'm going to put it in... Oh god, do I put literally don't remember? I made a video on it, so I remember it a little bit. So I'm going to put it in exactly 6. Jujutsu Kaisen 0, this one's actually a bit more recent. And also a hot take. People really like the Jujutsu Kaisen 0 movie. I didn't nearly as much. We have an entire podcast about it where I go into why. And so I'm going to put that in. I don't know. I mean, it's enjoyable enough. I didn't hate it. You know, it's entertaining. I'll put it in exactly 6. It's mostly more technical, thematic reasons as to why it's not a 7 or an 8 or anything higher than that. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Stone Ocean. It's actually the only part of JoJo's I've watched because of weird podcast stuff. It's kind of fucking boring, I'm not even gonna lie. JoJo's Stone Ocean is so fucking boring. I do not care for any of the characters or the story, really. I mean, they're all right. They're fine. Everything in the show is just fine. And also there's a bunch of like weird logic gaps and whatnot. I don't know. Week 6 could be a 5. I'm probably going to go there. Origairu. It's been a long time since I've even thought about that show. I remember it being thematically very solid. I mean, visually, okay, hot take. Origairu Season 2 looks worse than Season 1. Everyone is like, oh my god, look, the visuals in Season 1 are not that good, but you just gotta wait for it to get good later. The later seasons actually look way worse. Everything just looks stiff and soulless and lifeless, and the animation still isn't very good. It's like it's now generically passable, whereas, you know, in Season 1, the art quality is more inconsistent, but it's got life to it. It's got soul. You know, you look at the characters and you're like, oh, you know, this got a little bit of personality. Like, someone in here had a vision for how it should look. And it is, you know, thematically cohesive. Honestly, I think if I rewatched it, I'd like it more than I did back in the day. Because I don't even remember why I gave it a 6. Once again, it's been ages since I've seen it. Sonic... I forget what it was called, but it's some Sonic thing I watched in VC with Neon. I'm going to put that at exactly 6. It was fun to watch in VC. I'm not sure if it's super memorable outside of that. You know, it's like the definition of a 6. Lycoris Recoil, I did a video on this. I'm also putting this in exactly 6. I'm really stacking up the exactly 6. I need to... I need to find more things to put in other tiers. Well, okay, here's one that I can put in. Pet Girl? No, that's a completely different show. I was going to say Pet Girl of Sakuraso, but that's, like, why would I say that? It's Sunohara. Something Sunohara. That's what I remember the title as being. I'm gonna put that in literally don't remember, but I am very certain that if I rewatched it, it would be much, much lower than a 6. And the reason why is because, once again, watched it ages ago, but it's literally just like Shotokan, like, well, not even Shotokan, but like, there's a Shota, and then he's surrounded by hot girls and his constant fan service of those girls. And I remember giving it a 6 just because I was pleasantly surprised that it was in fact watchable and entertaining. But at the time, like, I had much lower standards than I did, and I still didn't think it was a, you know, particularly technically impressive show in terms of its writing or really anything about it. And so I think that's a... I mean, I'm putting it in don't remember, but it's probably like week 6. Rent-A-Girlfriend. Obviously, strong 6 could be a 7. Nah, I'm fucking with you. I mean, I've gone into my thoughts on Rent-A-Girlfriend before, so I'm not going to rehash them too much here. But basically, I put it in 6 due to my fascination with it, but realistically, it's more like a 3 out of 10. Kakushi Goto. I'm actually going to put this in strong 6 could be a 7 because I am very certain I underrated it. The main thing is that Koji Kumeta he's also the writer behind Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, but the thing is, I don't think he's as funny as maybe most people think he is. Now, granted, with Kakushi Goto, it's a little different, and it's probably... I mean, I don't remember too much about it, once again. All of these 6s are from fucking ages ago. I don't rate many things 6 nowadays for some reason. But I watched Kakushi Goto ages ago, and the thing with Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, I guess while I'm on the topic, Goku Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei is here, and I'm going to put that I mean, I guess I'll put it in literally don't remember, but at the same time, actually, no, I remember enough about it. I'm gonna put it in. I want to put it in exactly 6, but I can't really think of anywhere else to put it. But the reason why is because Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei is essentially the same joke each time after a certain point. So once you get past, all the introductions for the characters and once you understand their bits, it just sort of rehashes them over and over again. And that is very much the point. It is very much aware of that, and like that's the joke. The joke is that it is this, riffing on the same basic concept each time, and I don't necessarily think I find that as valuable as maybe some other people do. I wish it would vary itself a lot more, and so I really do watch Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei after a certain point, less for its script and more for its visuals and directing. And so that's where I'm putting Goku Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei, because it's fine, it's palatable, it's watchable, particularly because it's Shaft. And also, this season in particular has like some of the best OPs in the entire series. Sayonara Zetsubo Sensei is stacked when it comes to OPs. Almost every OP is a 10 out of 10. I just love them. But yeah, fucking, how, you can tell I have no sleep, because I'm literally, how am I blanking on this fucking Dear Girl anime? How am I blanking on what it's called? This is actually embarrassing. Do I have dementia? I'm going through my Annie list. I need to figure this out. No, you're sitting me. I'm not even cutting away. I refuse to cut away. Fucking, where do I find it? Nokotan. I knew it was N something. I don't know how I forgot that. My dear friend, Nokotan. Yeah, we had a podcast about this. Not much to say other than it stopped being funny. It became jokes but dear, but they're not good jokes. I don't know, week 6 could be a 5. It's so hard carried by its first, honestly, few episodes, even its first half, but once you get to a certain point, it is really boring, and I'm not sure how much I'd enjoy the first episodes on rewatch, just knowing where it goes, like knowing all the side characters basically have no good bits and nothing funny beyond their introductions, and some of the introductions aren't even that funny, so I don't know. It's iffy. Demon. Hold on. How am I forgetting this one too? I should know this. I should know this. Devil is a part. How the fuck did I? Whatever. We're not cutting. We're still going. Don't remember that one though. It was like my 5th or 6th anime, and I haven't rewatched it. Similar case for Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions Heartthrob, I think it's called. Because, okay, so the thing about Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions is that season 1 is like one of those slice of lifes with a plot. So you watch it for a sincere story of romance with actually pretty poignant themes about escapism and, the nature of being a Chunibyo. And granted, I'm not sure if it would hold up as much if I rewatched it again. When I first watched it, I gave it straight up a 10. Then I rewatched it, which is why I actually remember a bit more about that season. And I gave it an 8. And then I didn't rewatch season 2 because I was just so baffled by it the first time I saw it, because it's basically Love, Chunibyo, and Other Delusions does not need a second season. I'm gonna be straight up with you. There is no... Season 1 was a complete story. Season 1 was entirely... It was like a self-contained, complete thing. We did not need more of it. We really didn't. You know what? No, I'm putting this in... I don't know where... I'm still gonna put it in literally don't remember, because I don't know where to place it. But I do remember why I didn't like it nearly as much as the first season. Which is that it just didn't need a season 2. Season 2 is purely slice of life filler, plus they introduce a new character, and I'm pretty sure her thing was that she was also in love with Yuta. But just, we didn't need it. We really didn't. Season 1, I was satisfied with. I think the show said everything it needed to say in that first season. Yuri Yuri is going in strong 6, could be a 7. And the reason why is because as much as it does get kind of bland and, it's not always funny, it has been 15 minutes of this tier list. Jesus fucking Christ, I was trying to speedrun this. As much as it is not always the funniest, it's got a lot of personality to it. It really does. There are so many things. I will always remember Kyoko, I think was her name, walking into Akari? I'm pretty sure her name is Akari. Once again, been a long time since I've seen this one as well. But I'm pretty sure Kyoko walks into Akari's room. Oh wow, I got that right. I was checking the AniList page to be sure. Hey, I did remember something for once. But she walks into her sister's room, and it's just filled with like photos of Akari. I'm pretty sure a body pillow was in there with like kiss marks all over it, and she's just horrified. Like, she has come to this, mind you, first episode, no context. Everything before this has been like completely typical slice of life shenanigans. Just, oh no, I overslept. Oh, my friends are here. Oh, hey, my two best friend buddy pals. And then, she opens the room and it's like, oh my god. And that's the thing with Yuri Yuri. It is a slice of life that is, it's very absurdist, but I also don't think it's subversive enough. I wish it was less typical slice of life and more doing what it does best, which is it's this entire like deranged comedy where it's just constant Yuri, like that. The joke, it's literally called Yuru Yuri, relaxed Yuri or laid back Yuri, but it's not that. I mean, it kind of is, but it's also unhinged and chaotic. And, I really want to rewatch season 1, because I'm remembering all the reasons why it does stick out in my mind a lot more than a lot of these other shows, because it is willing to have gags like that, or have the entire point of one of the main jokes of Yuru Yuri is that the main character is not the main character. Everyone just constantly forgets about her. She's never included in anything. We start off in Akari's perspective, and she's constantly trying to get back in the spotlight because she knows she's the main character, but nobody treats her like that, and the show itself doesn't treat her like that. It's ridiculous. And honestly, now that I'm saying all that, I really do want to rewatch it. That seems like it'd be fun. Mewtwo Strikes Back. We had a podcast about this. I'm not even going to say anything about this. I'm going to put it in strong 6, could be a 7, though, because I actually rated it 7 at first, and then lowered it after thinking about it a bit more. But, I mean, I think it is thematically good. It does what it sets out to do. Henki Shoujo is the best 6 out of 10 on this entire list. I'm not even exaggerating. Henki Shoujo is the girl who's, like, about to undress and then she suddenly turns into a car. It's the girl who drinks gasoline, just out of nowhere. Henki Shoujo is a fucking masterpiece, and the only reason why it's a 6 out of 10 is because it's, like, 5 episodes and each of them is, like, 2 minutes long. Like, it's barely any content, and so I can't rate it, way higher, and also some of the bits aren't as good as the others, but I love that it exists. I love that it is a thing that exists. Girls Last Tour, I'm going to put in literally don't remember. However, I know that if I rewatched it, it'd be like an 8 or a 9. It does not deserve a 6. I don't know. I was tripping when I rated that. I can already tell. Senko! I've seen this show 3 times for some reason. And the answer is, strong 6 could be a 7. I'm gonna put it there. And I know Neon is like cringing internally, tearing himself apart, being like, why would you put Senko there? It's incel bait. It's gooner bait. It's so just basic, bland wish fulfillment. And look, I get you. I agree. I agree completely. But there is something about Senko that for some reason appeals to me. I'm not sure if it would still fulfill this role to me, but for a certain point in my life, it was just whenever I wanted to watch something literally without thinking, just brain dead the entire time, just chilling out, vegging out, just no thoughts, head empty, whenever I wanted to do that, Senko was there for me. That and Quintessential Quintuplets. Those two were like the surprisingly watchable, not very deep or intricate or thematically anything shows that just for some reason I could just put on and have a good time, They're not something that I have to be too involved with, but it's also something that I can enjoy. It is kind of, I don't want to say turn your brain off, especially because I'm not even sure if I would be able to get that same kind of enjoyment out of it anymore, but it is, it's the same appeal as like a Let's Play with minimal editing on YouTube or something like that, where it's not a video, it's not a hardcore documentary where I have to pay attention to every sentence. I can sort of lose myself in the flow of things, but it is still, enjoyable, and it's something to decompress to. This Croc Will Die in 100 Days is probably way higher than a 6. This Croc Will Die in 100 Days is such a good premise. And what kills me about it is that everyone knows, for some reason, everyone knows this gorilla will die in, I think it's 2 days or 1 day or something like that. And I can't tell if people are serious when they say it's a masterpiece, but it's like, for some reason, it's so highly rated on AniList. I don't know if it's the same on Mal, but on AniList, people just can't get enough of This Gorilla Will Die in 1 Day. It's so weird, and it has to be a joke, because This Gorilla Will Die in 1 Day is a shitpost version of This Croc Will Die in 100 Days. And This Croc Will Die in 100 Days is the actually good version of that story, where the idea is that you just have a normal slice of life. Literally just a bunch of animal people just having a slice of life, having a ball with each other, and then the croc just fucking dies. I think he gets hit by a car. Just no reason. None whatsoever, other than that it was the title of the manga. He just had to die. And there's something very thematically powerful about that. It does hit you in the feels, because it is a very short story. It is like mostly one strip comics, just watching these dudes have fun. And then, he just fucking dies. Like, there's something there. There's something to think about right there. No? It is deep. This Croc Will Die in 100 Days is fucking deep, man. Yeah, I want to reread that sometime. Like that, I heard they were making a movie. I'm not sure if they ever released it, but I know they were. Sigh of Haruhi Suzumiya. I almost said Disappearance, but, I had Peak on the mind, obviously. I'm gonna put this one in... Strong 6 could be a 7 because it is Haruhi. I don't think it's a great story. There are many problems I have with it. I have an entire rant about it, so fuck you, I'm not talking about it. But it is, it's Haruhi at the end of the day. Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the movie. I'm gonna put this in exactly 6 because it has a lot of personality. I'll give it that. It's got a ton of personality, and it is, fun enough at times, but it just compresses the story too much. The pacing is atrocious. I cannot stand the pacing. It is breakneck, and it does not give anything time to sit. Like, 7 Evil X's was too many for this fucking film. Goddamn. But yeah, and the final one is Saw, which I'm gonna put in Strong 6 could be a 7, because it probably is a 7. I think I underrated it. The idea behind Saw, everyone knows fucking Saw. It's basically a movie shot in, like, one room, primarily, and it does a lot of creative things with that premise, because it is supposed to be, like, low budget, easy to make, because they were doing it without many materials, if I recall correctly. It's just good. It's just a really... interestingly told story, and, like, it doesn't have super high aspirations. That's the main thing holding it back, which is that it's not, super my kind of story. It's not super intricate or interesting. It's Saw. God forbid, I say it doesn't have the deepest themes out there. But for what it is trying to do, it's good. Like, it's solid. It probably is a 7. I probably underrated that shit. But yeah, that's it. Let me see the time. 24 minutes. That is not a gold split. That is not even close. Fuck you. Neon, he knows the strat. He knows how to make these rants longer. That's about it. See ya.